Happy Thursday. We're in James chapter 3, looking at the topic of words. So, yes, I have been talking about talking, which is actually easier than thinking about thinking, but talking about talking is easier than actually controlling our talking, and that is the focus here. So this is not an original thought to James. The point I want to make today is that the Bible has a lot to say about words. In the first chapters of Genesis, we see that it's our adversaries' words that end up derailing everything. And then later in Genesis, we see, for instance, that the blessing that Jacob is able to get out of his father Isaac is binding, which is sort of crazy. I mean, Jacob lies, he deceives his father, and then his father gives him the blessing. But once that blessing has been given, those words have some sort of power. And we see this in other ways. We see that people who are tricked into agreeing to things and who are saying things, that these words actually have binding power. So in Exodus, we also see how important words are, because the third commandment is that we should not take the name of the Lord our God in vain, which means more than not using God's name as a swear word, but it points in the direction of saying how significant what we say is. Remember, the Jews were so concerned about not saying the name of God in any kind of way that would diminish the holiness and majesty of God, that they wouldn't even say it or write it. They didn't write the name Yahweh. They wrote this hybrid of Adonai and Yahweh. And we, for a long time, are confused as we look at that word. We think it means Jehovah. But all I have to say, lots of places in the Bible talk about the importance of words. Let me mention 3 out of wisdom literature and then 3 from the New Testament. In Psalm 19:4, David writes, "May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer." Psalm 39:1, "I will watch my ways and keep my tongue from sin. I will put a muzzle on my mouth." And Proverbs 25:11, "A word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver." And then now 3 from the New Testament. In Matthew chapter 12, Jesus says, "But I tell you that men will have to give account on the day of judgment for every careless word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned." Colossians 3:8, Paul writes, "Put aside anger, wrath, malice, slander, and abusive speech from your mouth." And finally, Colossians 4:6, "Let your conversations be always full of grace." So, measure your words today. Say less, bless more. Make your words count. Have a good day.